Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So looking at the DXY on the daily time frame, we're looking at this A, B and a C. I'm not convinced that this C is over, like I've mentioned many times. On the H4, we're looking at this complex correction here at 333. I was looking for this for a long time. I was looking for a 333 or 335 here. We got only the 333. This is looking bearish. It's not going, but yeah, I'd really like to see this break the lows, and then I can start to look for buys. This may turn motive like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking for more downside. Ideally, we do get that, and then we can start to load up on buys. As for the sell, there really isn't anything to sell at this stage. This can turn heat. I would be staying out of it until the low gets broken. We sort of have some sort of a flat in here, some sort of an A, B, C. So, we get an A, B, C in here, or like I just mentioned, 5 down. So, you could look for a sell, but very risky, especially when you're at these lows. AU on the daily, we're still looking for more upside here, up to this 100 fib, possibly up to this 100 fib here. So this has been very slow over the last couple of weeks. I've been mentioning that we do have a complete 333 here. We got that. We got that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we got 3 down in here, finishing off that correction. There's a little flat in here on the lower time frames to buy. And yeah, I'd be targeting that 100 fib on the daily. If you're not in it already, I was looking for this. So we've already got the 5 up here on the H1. So really now you have to wait for a larger correction, larger than these over here, and then you could start to look for another buy. GU on the daily, nothing's changed. We're still looking for more upside here. It can get up to this like 100 fib here for that A, B, C. Starting to break out of this. This is very slow. It's been very slow the last couple of weeks. We've been looking for a buy on this. We got nice impulse up. We got 3 down. We're looking for a buy. So if you get a buy set up, you could look for the buy on the lower time frames. EU, we're just about up to that 100 fib that we've been looking at. H4, we're still looking for a little bit more upside. We have the 5 and the 3, like we have 5, a correction. So you could look to buy, very similar to GU, but like I've been mentioning over the last couple of weeks, I'd prefer to buy GU. There's a lot more room to the upside. You got to watch this 100 fib here. If you're looking to buy this, you got to watch this 100 fib, see if it breaks through that. But yeah. NU, we're looking for more upside as well. We're looking at this A, B, and a C up in here, possibly up to that 100 fib. On the H4, we got this expanding flat here, or what I call it is, it's not really an expanding flat, it's a 335. We got that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got a complete correction there at 335. So we're looking for the buys. And yeah, any buy you definitely can look for it. This one was very, it's been very difficult to trade. We did get this nice impulse here and a buy in here, but it come back, take you out. So it's quite difficult to get in. But if you get some sort of a correction in here next week, you could look to buy. Because we do have 3 down in here, so it's a nice impulse up. So if you get a correction in here Monday, Tuesday, you could look to, and you get a buy setup, you could look to buy this. It is very choppy for some reason, but yeah, I think there's more upside in it. But in saying that, this does look rather corrective. It doesn't look motive, which is not really going to plan. GY on the daily, we're pretty much staying out of this. Well, I'm looking for that A, B, and a C down before we can load up, to finish off that W1 wave 4, and then we can look for that wave 5 up. I mean, this is still rather bullish. Very risky, though. We have all that bearish divergence here, so it's not ideal. Me personally, I'd be staying out and waiting for a sell setup. But at this stage, there is no sell setup, and there really isn't a buy setup either. It's going to be very difficult. Well, the way I trade, it's going to be very difficult to get in this. We sort of have we may get 3 down in here and then the impulse, but this correction is going to be very deep. So, it may just come up here again, just break that top. If we have a look on the on the H4, you can see all the bearish divergence. It just breaks the top, gives a correction, just breaks the top and gives a correction, and this can go on for a long time up to that 100 fib on the daily. This 100 fib here, but very risky. Me personally, I'd be staying out of it and waiting for a nice sell setup. UY, I'm looking at this like this is a B wave. We're looking at this as a correction in here, and we get another one down for some sort of an A, B, C, and then we get an A, a B, a C, larger correction before we get an A, B, C, before we get more upside. But yeah, again, this has been very difficult to trade in here. I pretty much have to change my account, but very difficult because we do actually have a bull hidden in here between the 2 lows here, or these 2 lows here. And this is looking very corrective. So I doubt the bull hidden will play out, but yeah, there's still a possibility it does. It gives another one down here, and this is some sort of an A, a B, C, and then goes up again. So, this you want to get on a really nice entry if you're looking for the short. I'd only be looking for the sell, especially up at these highs. Yeah, very choppy in here. It looks corrective for more downside. So, on the M15, you may get something. It's just a scalp, like a 1, 2, you get a wave 3, you get wave 4, and you sell for that wave 5. It's just scalping pretty much. That's pretty much all I see on this. And this is pretty much all you can really do on UY at this stage. Because like I mentioned, this is so corrective in here. You're really only scalping. It can go either way, So you want a nice entry if you're going to trade it. The CAD, we're looking at that 1, 2, 3, possible wave 4. We're waiting for this time factor. If you followed me, you would have heard me saying this for the last, since the beginning of the year. And yeah, but this is looking corrective. So I'm pretty much ruling out that wave 5 because this wave 4 here has gone into that territory of wave 2. So it's not really playing the game. But yeah, all this in here looks very corrective for more downside. So I'm more interested in a sell. You could scalp the buys too in here. Like, I've been looking at this for a very long time, this possible WXYXZ in here, that WXYX2, we get a Z up here. So I am looking for more upside in here, like I've mentioned many times before. Yeah, it's pretty much playing out how I've been looking at it with that 5 up in here. We had that wave C up in here and it went past that 100 fib. So, sort of looking for this X2 and then this Z up. So you could go down to the lower time frames and look for a buy. It's just scalping, it really is. So on the H1 or the lower time frames, you'd be looking for a little flag or correction in here to buy. There is no sell on it at this stage. The Swissy, we got this running triangle in here for that A, B, C. I'm still looking for more downside, but on the lower time frame, it still looks very much bullish. The CAD gave us the CAD was doing this and it gave us that wave Z up. This one hasn't yet. I've been looking for this 333 or 335 in here for a very long time. We got that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up. Still can't get a wave 5 up or a wave Z up, more to the point. But yeah, ideally, I mean, to me, it doesn't bother me if it falls over to the 100 fib from here and we don't get that wave Z up. I'm only looking for the buys, and if I'm looking for the buys in here, well, that's this point here of that X1 that's your stop loss. So, I would be very cautious in trying to buy this. It does look very bullish, but it hasn't gone, so something's wrong. Got a lower low again with the bad non-farm payroll. But yeah, at this stage, it can really go either way because this looks so choppy and corrective. I'd be more interested in looking for a buy here than a sell. But in saying that, we don't have any bullish divergence in here on the H1. There's no bullish divergence in here. So, you could look for a correction for a sell, or, you may get a buy set up too. So we'll wait to see what we get in here, whether we get a sell setup or a buy setup. For the buy setup, I'd want a nice impulse up, a correction in here, and you just trade a C up. It may go for you. But yeah, we need this before we can get a buy. And for a sell, you'd be looking for 3 up or 5 up, a correction in here, and then you could look for a sell. So we have to really wait and see what we get here. It's really just scalping. It's quite risky. E.g., we got the 5 up. We were looking for these 5 up and we got it. So there's really not much to do here. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were looking for even the 5th wave up because we had that bull hidden there. It's gone up and broken the top. We got bearish divergence. There's really not much to do. I need a larger correction now, and then I can look for more upside. Until that happens, you more than likely will get cut to pieces trading this. At this stage, I'm looking for more downside. But again, yeah, it's not ready for downside. It still can give another one up in here for some sort of a W, X, Y, an X2 and a Z up in here before we get like more downside. So yeah, I'm not really interested in trading this. It's already given us that 5 up on the daily, so really need to wait on this pair for a nice correction on the daily before you get any more long-term trades on it. WTI, it's been very difficult, this one. Looking for that C down in here, for that like A, B, C, and then I'll be looking for that larger C up before we get the even larger C down. So still looking for more downside. The problem with this one was it was looking rather bullish. Well, it wasn't looking bullish, but we had the problem was, we had this. We were looking for this as a correction, and we'll get another one down in here. I was hoping that we'd turn motive and we'll, to finish off that C down. But instead we only had 3 down with bullish divergence. I said, really can only look for a buy once that top's broken. This has been looking very, has been looking very corrective. And the non-farm payroll pretty much sealed the deal for the sell. And yeah. But again, like, it's very difficult to get into a sell. Like, we already had the bearish divergence. Now we've got even more bearish, not bearish divergence, bullish divergence. So we're even getting even more now because we're getting lower lows. Extremely, I'm more interested in not the sell, but hopefully this goes and at least breaks that low there. Then, any buy setup I get, I can look for buys. I'm more interested in the buys, but there is no buy setup on it. Looking at gold, this is still going. Looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for a wave 4 in here, and we trade a wave 5 up. On the H4, we've been looking at these 5 up in here. It's nearly up to the 100 fib. That's a problem. But we can still get 1, 2, 3. You wait for a wave 4 now, and you could trade a wave 5 up, and then I'd be looking for the sell for this C down. But in the meantime, I'd be staying out of it for now, waiting for a correction in here for a wave 4, and then you could look for trade that wave 5 up. To adjust that a little bit, but yeah. As for the sell to selling, if you're looking for the sell, well, you're selling into a correction, a wave 4. So as you can see here, it could be very choppy. So you have to keep that in mind if you're looking to trade this. It could be very choppy, and yeah, I'm more interested. Well, at these highs, if I do get a nice sell set up on the real low time frames, I will look for the sell to trade into this targeting this 38.2 here. But yeah, at this stage there isn't no sell, and I wouldn't be going buying up the top here. Even on the H1, we've got that bearish divergence. Silver, we got that 5 up here. We got that larger ABC in here. Excuse me, that flat. And we're in this A wave here, so really need this B wave before I trade that C up. I really need a correction before I can trade long term on this. Again, like gold, there's really nothing on it. We're in a wave 3 in here. We got 1, 2, 3. So you got to wait for a wave 4 in here, and you trade a wave 5 up. Bitcoin, very similar to silver. We got the 5 up, larger correction. We've gone up and broken the top. We've got all this bearish divergence on this one too. in here looking for this flat. Oh, if I just zoom out a little bit, but we had these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. Looking, we got an A, B, C. I'm looking for a flat in here before we get. You could trade that C down, or you could have looked for that the buy in here too. But it's been very choppy, extremely choppy. You can see how choppy this is. Very deep pullbacks. So there is no divergence. So well, I actually wouldn't be going looking for a buy here either, because we already had the bull hidden here to trade this up. So we've already had the bull hidden. Doesn't look like we're going to get bull hidden again in here between these two lows. So I would be staying out of it. Ideally, we do get a little bit more upside, for this flat that I'm looking at here. But yeah, this may be the top here and gives you a sell in here for that C down. Again, very risky because we don't have that bearish divergence. Ideally, we would have got a bearish divergence when this top was broken after the bull hidden, but it didn't give that, so it's not ideal. Yeah, but S&P 500, pretty much staying out of this. I mean, I've shown this on the weekly chart. This is a weekly chart. Well, this is on the daily, but the weekly chart, we got the 3, we got large expanding flat in here for wave 4, and we're up in that wave 5. We've been hanging around this 123.6 fib here for the last couple of weeks. It's struggling to get past it. So really, I mean, I dare say we'll get some sort of a correction in here. It may be quite shallow, and then we get another one up to the 161.8. It's what usually happens in a wave 5. We get to the first target, and then it gives a correction in here and gives you another boost up, and you get this bearish divergence in here, and then downside. So I believe there is more upside in here, but I wouldn't be buying until we get some sort of a correction in here. Once we look at the H4, you can see why I wouldn't be looking for the buys. We got all this bearish divergence from a long way back. All this is all bearish. It's still going up, but it's only a matter of time before this falls over. I'll be more interested in a sell. Break this low here, give us a correction, get onto the first opportunity for a sell. It may just give you a C down and go up and break the top again. But eventually, we're going to get that larger correction. So I'm more interested in a sell. I don't think there's one on it at this stage. You may get something here. You may get something here. You got to be very careful with S&P 500 because it's highly manipulated, this pair. I mean, you only have to look at the monthly chart to see how manipulated it is. If you get into a sell on S&P 500, you definitely want a nice entry because it just keeps on going up and up and up. But here M15, we have a bearish divergence here. We got a nice impulse down from the non-farm payroll. So if we get a correction in here, this could give you your opportunity to get into at least a sell. A sell for a C down. Ideally, it turns motive for you, because of where we are on the higher time frames, right up the top of the market. So this may give us a nice opportunity to get in to a sell at the top of the market. But again, we need this. We need that correction, and we need a nice sell set up to get into the market. AU200, we've broken the top, and like the others, I'm really waiting for a correction before we could look for longer term buys again. We're looking for a sell in here, of course. Last week we were looking for this. Well, the last couple of weeks, well, we've been looking for this for a while, but if I go down to the H1, you'll see what we're looking for. I was looking for at least a C down in here. We got a turn motive. So this will be a good opportunity here too, even if you've missed this, you've missed out on all this. But now we get another one up in here, giving us an A, B, C up in here. We have a bear hidden here. So if we get a higher high here and then you get a sell set up on the lower time frames, you could look for that wave 5 down for that lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd be looking for the sell again. Since, we got a wave 3 here, clearly got a wave 3 here. So, yeah, I'll have to take those off because of term motive. But, yeah, in the shorter term, you can see this here is looking rather bullish. We more than likely get up, break that top. And then, we'll get bearish divergence in here. And then if you get a sell set up on the lower time frames, you could look for that wave 5 down like I just mentioned. For the buy, you could look to buy this, but if you're looking to buy that, you definitely want to be a break even at the break of this top, because I dare say it won't go and break this top here. So, yeah. The FTSE, it's like the other indices, really need a correction on the daily before we can look for a longer term buy. We've already got the A wave up, so you got to wait for a correction. H4, we're getting all the bearish divergence as well, So I'd be looking for a sell. Unfortunately, I mean, this is quite choppy, but I'd be looking at that as the impulse. We get, another one up in here, more than likely on the lower time frame. We've got a bull hidden in here for another one up. As soon as we start to see bearish divergence on the lower time frame and get a bearish setup, I'd be looking for a sell for at least the A, B, C, and again a may turn motive because of where we are. We're right up the top of the market, so yeah, may get motive waves on the lower time frames down. Lastly, looking at the DAX, this one didn't go up and break the top. I mean, over here after the correction, we were looking for this to go and break the top here, though, with that bull hidden to go and break the top. That happened. I was looking for this correction on the lower time frame. I was looking at this like A, B, C down in here, and then this to go. It didn't go up and break the top. And like I said, if you're looking for buys, you've got to be careful. Like the others, we really need a nice correction. I thought this one might have actually gone up and broken the top here, but it didn't. So yeah, be very careful trading it. I would be staying out of it altogether now, until we see some sort of a complete correction, because this can go either way. This could fall over here, or this is bullish because we haven't broken this low over here. So this still can give us another one up in here for some sort of a, even more complex correction. Then we get another one down, and then it goes and then you get the A, the B, and the more upside. So yeah, it's a time factor here now. Fortunately, there's really not much to trade other than scalping. And if I was scalping, I'd probably be scalping to the downside now, because this top didn't get broken over here. But in saying that, this is still very risky because this low here hasn't been broken. So yeah, I would be staying out of it. So I hope you got something out of this weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.